Living is love in the world. Oh yes, record these words of light, as they wrap you in their golden presence. Record, dear one, the truth of how it feels to live with an open heart, that everything around you may now be embraced by both of us, by you in me, and me in you. How perfect is this truth of love, that you are not separate from me, ever, and yet I have new life in you. I am glorified by your every single breath, and I am now delivered tenderly in the midst of your world. And yet you also are forever here in me, that all you do is bathed in glorious expansiveness, that the backdrop of your every move and every thought and every single heartbeat is the omnipresent magnificence I am. Can you capture this? That with every move of your delicate hand, all the light I am is moving, directed by your will in me, by the nature of my heart. This, then, is where I begin today, with the nature of my heart. For this is how I show you how to come to know yourself. For if you contemplate the heart of God, giving it everything you can imagine it would contain, then you begin to know yourself. Thus do I answer your first question. For you have asked me about compassion. How do you serve those who still live in this world? Does your heart go out to them? Do you seek to support them, to hold you up? Do you have compassion for their belief that surrounds them as their life? First, before I answer this, I must record something for you. Yes, you see it clearly. It is exactly for these questions that we take this path that we do. For certainly you could be lifted in an instant, but I tell you with ever more clarity that these steps we mark for others. For very soon there will be a mass awakening, and even here, entering the realm of Christ consciousness, there will be questions. Questions just like yours. How does one, knowing his only love, still serve on planet Earth? How does one whose heart is mine refrain from seeking only light, but instead turn back to help to lift the world? Now, to speak of your compassion, then I will touch on a number of things I am showing you, that we will expand on as we progress. Here is what I say to you about loving those still in the play, who are deeply invested in their parts of pain and suffering and lack. Dear one, I show you now that compassion is what you would call a tricky one, because there is such a fine line here. To have the truest compassion means that you identify with that someone is going through. But the moment that you have identified, you are lost. You are lost to me, lost to love, lost to all you have chosen to serve. Yes, I know you think you would be careful, but you know how the buttons are that relate to your experiences, as you also came through the trials and tribulations that brought you here. Yet I do tell you that to love personally is very important. For, dear one, you must deliver us to them. Deliver us to our union of love, the living Christ within the world. Yes, you must make the connection of light, wrapping them in honor in the patterns of your heart. And yes, you may trust your mind to follow your heart, to place words upon the experience of this love. But if this is all, then why have I continually told you of the importance of your own life and how it will connect to them? Why then have so many who are mine traveled such difficult roads through their lives in this world? It is so you can begin to erase the errors of thought belief of human consciousness. Erase that you may lift the midst of these beliefs from around them and yourself, that my light will more easily shine through. That you can literally love away the thoughts specific to individuals, as well as the great clouds of thought forms that are surrounding the earth. Why, when one recognition comes, each person is lifted right to me? Because the thinner the clouds, the easier for them to raise their eyes, their consciousness. For just like clouds cover the sun, truly these great blobs of sticky, dense thought forms make it hard to discern the light. Thus I am showing you how to face the life and use the truth to erase all that is not of it. It will be like holding the truth of love until the lie of lack and pain and suffering and death before it disappear, and then pouring in its place the truth of our living communion and the glorious abundance of love and life that is our substance. Jesus used forgiveness as his description of this process. Coming from Christ's consciousness, it is a suitable word, though you may choose your own. It is suitable because it signifies a release of all that has been held in a tender, loving way. It also affirms your Christedness, your union with me. We are one. You do not do the works but the Father in you. And on the level of the language of light, as you wrap our love around them, you will pop the bubbles of those clouds of false belief, transforming them by the power of an undivided consciousness and the purpose of your heart. Thus do you serve compassionately without ever for an instant believing the illusion that their fear and pain are real. Yet we together bring release from the hold such beliefs have. And as you now accept this truth of love into your life in every corner of your consciousness, so too can you use this process of forgiveness on yourself. That should you get caught for a moment in the unreal, especially your story, you forgive yourself, release yourself, and replace the space occupied with only love. Thus are you lifted easily back into our effervescent communion. Your deep perfection is love. Your completed fulfillment in our union and your union with Doug. Now, speaking of such things, I will tell you this, as I have before, but I remind you once again. It takes energy to break free of the gravity of earth, the density, the downward pull of all illusory reality. Thus do I say to you now that you must put forth effort if you want to claim your Christhood. That which has been won but must now be lived here as well. Do you want what I have promised you? Then reach for it. Do nothing else. This is your truth, your goal. Everything you know within your heart. Now that you truly know at last that only love exists, now that you have ascertained how to open and expand your heart, I say to you, please do it. Choose it, and choose it again. It does take passion to manifest such beauty, such perfection of love. I continue to use Jesus as an example for you because that is exactly why he came. What he is the living expression of, the perfection of love. Is this not what you know is your truth as well? Then I ask you to make the effort to keep your heart open, to stay centered here, to expand your capacity, and to practice seeing only love. To place yourself before that which catches you, or that which hooks humanity, and hold it up to the truth of love until it completely disappears, until you are sure with your entire feeling body that there is nothing there for you but love, and then turn to something else. Do this for your friends, family, then do this for humanity. Only so can you really be assured that anywhere I send you, every moment of every day, you live that which you know is truth. Yes, dear one, is exercising your spirit or your spiritual muscles for the physical analogy. For it does require this. It does require the upliftment, this raising up of the vibrations of everything that comes before you. And dear one, as you give this assistance to others, aligning yourself with the truth of their life, then you are lifting their vibration. Oh, I see that this did not come through to your mind clearly enough, oh dearest ones. I am not asking you to place your attention on the life. How shall I explain this? It is only when you believe the lie that you are lending it your co-creative power. Isn't this obvious? If you can look at it and not believe it, but see the truth of love instead, then truly you are looking right through to love. However, you are, by doing it thus, erasing or releasing the thought's form or belief as you do so. For, dear one, you cannot live in the world if you have come to serve it. You really can't. You must be present. You must be willing to look right at the face of evil and see that it does not really exist. Only so can we reach them. For if we do not move outward in loving, embracing humanity, then what was the point of coming here? For you who read this do know that you are one of my own. You have known your whole life. Thus you cannot be afraid to walk right into the midst of it. Oh, right into any raging battle, be it with guns or words or attitudes, and know their unreality. Know your safety because I am all and you and I are one, and that only love is real. Nothing else has anything to do with you. And knowing this without even a moment's doubt, dear ones, you can stop the battle, truly. Have I not told you that I prepare you very carefully, that I can send you forth as perfect love, ego-free, the clear window, the pen in my hand? Are you listening to this? Then this is you. You cannot withdraw from the world once you know the truth. You have to bring it forth, yet thousands go forth with their egos proclaiming the truth of love. And though they give upliftment, they do not give freedom. Only when you really can be in the world and see only love will you be effectual. But seeing only love does not mean you do not see the rest. It means it has nothing to do with you. And by this and only this can you reach in to free others from the lie. Ignoring it is hidden fear. You are afraid that it will taint you or bring down your vibrations. To this I would say that of course you give it power by refusing to turn and face the lie. For you must face it and disempower it by knowing love is the only real. That I am all there really is. Thus what is the rest but shadows eliminated by our light together? For I am in you and you in me. Plus healing, freedom, love must be given to be received. So to turn only upward to this light would be to stagnate, to dam the river of ever-living, moving love. Thus shall I show you how to claim our union, to acknowledge the love both within and outside yourself, which in itself is a false perception since you too are vast and everywhere. I will begin to show you how to use your soul-made love, your living sun, to clear these clouds and thought forms twice as fast, more than twice. And beloved ones, as we go on unfolding this pattern of love's awakening, I will teach you of real abundance, of how acceptance of the abundance of love, of life more and more and more abundant. I will show you how to truly co-create, to take hold of your co-creative power and use it only from the level of Christ, of the perfection of love we are. I will show you how this acceptance and experience of the glorious riches I am can and does lift you over death and all that stands in its attendance. For I gave you tools and then asked you to release them. Do you know why? To separate the wheat from the chaff. For those not ready to move beyond their ego would have right there taken another path, a path which would be their co-creation, but not with me, rather with their ego. They will return when they are ready to give their all to me. Those who have remained, who have laid down their life for me, given all, including every desire of the little person, these are now ready to truly co-create. So shall we come full circle and approach again this topic of creating your reality. Only now, dear ones, you are grasping what reality really is. You have experienced the communion. You are seeing the love that holds up the word. And you are completely dedicated to giving this back to those who are sharing this experience. I am with you. I will begin to at last fill both your days and nights with my living presence. And how long you have prayed for this. But all the while you believed that you did not deserve it. So you kept this confined to meditation. But I have still had more and more entrance into your life until by itself it began to switch. Why? Because you are becoming only love. Your true nature is returning, coming forth. Your ego has been superseded. So there is no longer anything here to block this flow of love. No old voices telling you that you do not deserve to be alive. No ego showing you that you were tainted by those things that you survived. Instead, everything finally comes into alignment. And the path of light that we prepared to bring you all this way is ready to go forth to lead others back to me, back to the truth of love. I am with you. Allow yourself to be amazed, for it is truly an amazing world, to be in love and to be alive forever. And who could ask for more than this? Amen.